Welcome back, Lelanders, to a new episode of Clone Evolution. It's been a couple days, everyone. Hope everyone has been doing well. It's been quite a wild adventure for me, to say the least. Been working on a lot of stuff in the past few days. Just trying to tank, get everything done that I want to get done. And so far, so good. I've actually been making record progress. Weight loss is going amazing. Getting the editing work done and finished videos is going amazing. And the only thing that hasn't really been going so well is the whole health aspects, but who knows, maybe we can turn that around soon too. I figure that if I reduce my weight, it should make a big difference. What was my weight? I can't even remember. I think, what am I at? I think 207. So when you think about it, I was at like 220, like, I don't know, less or about a week ago. So now that I'm down to 207, it's almost kind of unreal. So I'm definitely impressed myself with how much I can lose quickly just from cutting out the junk food, eating normal amounts of food. My exercise has not been going well. That's one thing. Oh yeah, let's get to some Clone Evolution stuff. So much about me. Let's forget about that, and we'll get back to that later when we run out of Clone Evolution content here. All right, let's get some... What the hell am I doing here? Oh yeah, send all. Now, I made some pretty big mistakes financially with the whole sobriety thing, and thankfully I was able to call the bank and straighten some of that out today. Oh yeah, that was what I was going to say. The Hunger Games material. I don't know if anyone's heard the news, but if anyone who bet on Collator got their asses kicked again. I don't know what I was thinking too, because I remember last time Collator got his ass wiped. I was like, shit, should have bet on Kirikoma. And then what did I do? I did the exact same mistake again. So I don't know how I keep falling for that. Why do I keep betting on Collator? I don't know. I know someone in the audience was recommending it. I don't blame them, because I know a lot of people, everyone pretty much thought Collator was going to win, except for me and a few other people that bet on Kirikoma. So congratulations to Kirikoma. I don't really think I'm ever going to bet on Collator again to win it, to be honest. Even if people try to convince me, because it's cost me a lot now. Like, every time I bet on Collator like that, I must have lost, like, I don't know, 1,000 tokens already. So it's definitely adding up, all these bets on Collator. I got to switch to Kirikoma and just stick with them. Unless someone else has an idea of someone who's like got a new team that's even better, but... So don't feel too disappointed, everyone. I noticed one of the things that I'm trying to do to improve my health is be more positive. Because really, that's been my whole life motive, is been really a positive person my whole life. And it's definitely not been going that way in the past few years. I think pretty much since 2017. I kind of went in a little bit of a groove of bad fucking just being pissed off all the time. So yeah, I'm going to try to change that, because I think that's probably a big portion of why my stomach is so upset all the time. I know, sorry, we got a huge amount of fireworks going off outside. I don't even know what for. Labor Day? Oh yeah, it was a Labor Day long weekend. Maybe that's why. Yeah, so let's try to look at the positive sides of things. As much as I'd like to bash on Labor Day, because it's the goddamn unions that are destroying our country, created all the slaves overseas, but... at least they did some good things. They jacked up all their wages and became millionaires at our expense. Oh, come on, I said positive. Now, some people are like, why do you hate unions so much? It's like, I don't hate any union as long as they support themselves. As soon as they start robbing me to make themselves rich, that's when I fucking hate them. And you wouldn't be surprised how often it happens in Canada. Everywhere you turn, there's some union person who's a fucking millionaire who's complaining that other people that aren't in the union should work harder and get a job so they can get ahead. And what are we getting ahead by? All of our money goes to taxes to support those unions. So it's like, God, it sickens me. But who knows? Maybe we can look at this as a positive aspect. And dear God, a lot of these union jobs I probably didn't want anyway. So even though they're making it rich, I just don't want to do that job to begin with. So let them have whatever they want. Alright, so what else do we got? Yeah, the other news is I did my computer video. So if anyone's been wanting to find out more information about my computer that I use for streaming, yeah, I did a whole video about it and I finally got it posted. And if anyone's been laughing because I've been promising that video for months, I just couldn't get motivated to finish it. But as soon as you get sober for long enough, it's like you're like, holy shit, I'm bored. I need something to work on. I can't just vaporize all day. And then it's like all of a sudden that list of stuff that I have to work on becomes like much more feasible to accomplish, because I'm not just vaporizing the whole fucking day and sleeping. And not to make fun of weed all the time, but I am kind of looking forward to December now. I was thinking, geez, we're already a week in or 6 days into sober September. Oh yeah, and that was the thing I never realized. It was weird. Like the last show that we did, we kind of hinted at the depression topic a little bit. How some people have lost friends and family to suicide. And it was like, man, even myself, I was like... So yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I got to try to be more positive. And yeah, I can't even remember where I was going with that. No, I'll try to remember in a few minutes. No, that was the one thing, my memory, it improved slightly, but not really. Yeah, I have to say it did one of those roller coaster things where it went way down. It started to go up a little. And, so it's like, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's what it was. We talked about the depression issue a little bit. I forgot that I was depressed. No, what it was is... I hadn't felt depressed in a long time, and I was thinking that I wasn't, but then I forgot that I've just been vaporizing like crazy. And normally that like just cheers me up no matter how down in the dumps I'm feeling. So it's like as soon as I stopped vaporizing, I started to realize that the lockdown and this whole losing all my human rights has really crushed my spirits. I think that the whole lockdown and pandemic is actually starting to make me depressed again. So I was like, oh fuck man, that sucks. I didn't even realize because I'd been vaporizing the whole time. And I was thinking a good comparison is, you know how like sometimes athletes will pump a whole bunch of painkillers like cortisol, morphine, or Tylenol, Demerol, whatever it is, probably not Demerol, opiates of some types. But normally what they do is they do that, compete in a huge event, and then they wake up the next day, or you've probably even done it too, take a whole bunch of Tylenol, go to work. Then you wake up the next day and your body just aches. And you're like, oh yeah, why does it ache so much? And like, shit, it was the painkillers. I was like injuring myself the whole time and not even realizing it because I was on the painkillers. So that's basically what happened with me and weed. So I started to get real down in the dumps actually the past 2 days. And I was like, shit, man, like a lot of my fucking weight loss is like going through my system and it's not working out good for my internal organs. I can see like every time I go to the washroom, it's just a lot of not good stuff coming out. And I got to try to like rinse it. So I tried one beer. I'm like, oh, even though it's sober September, I'm just going to try one beer and see if that can at least fix some of my like clear out my system issues. Fuck, man, if that one beer didn't save me. So I was thinking, I know it's breaking the whole sober September thing, but at least if I'm not doing weed, it's a good start. Fucking game froze, so we're going to restart. So yeah, I'll pour a beer while this goes. Let's get the vaporizer commercial while it loads. We'll be right back. There we go. Forgot to hit send, son of a bitch. Alright, welcome back everyone. Cheers. No, I figure it's not the end of the world. If I have to drink one beer in order to get me through this little rough patch in September, and then hopefully by October, I'll be able to cut the beer out as well. I really shouldn't just go too hardcore right off the bat. Especially because last time I was joking, or not even joking, but when we were going through that Sober October last year, we had the US election. And I had gotten my hopes up so much that Biden wasn't going to win because I knew that Biden was a freaking disaster. And when he won, I was like literally feeling like the entire world was going to get killed. Like he was going to start some big wars in Afghanistan. So it's like, yeah, that really like drove me down into the dumps last time when I was doing Sober October. And I was like, oh, at least this year I won't have an election. But lo and behold, I didn't even realize. This is Canada's election season, so I did it again. I'm doing Sober October again on a fucking election. So what I decided to do is I'm probably just going to ignore politics altogether, especially this year in Canada because our politics situation has never been worse. It's reached an all-time low. It's literally like every single candidate, I would rather get a finger cut off than vote for them. So it's like I've reached the point where it's like, why am I even going to watch this election? It's a freaking nightmare. So hopefully I can just avoid it altogether. I think what I started to do is just ban all the election news on my computer, anything on Facebook, anything on YouTube. Just tell the algorithm, stop giving me election shit. I don't give two shits who wins. I could care less. I'm not even taking part in the vote this year. I might actually still vote, but if I do, I'm probably going to do that no confidence vote. Because I thought about it. I was going to try voting for NDP. And I talked to the candidates a bit. And they just made me sick to my stomach. They're fucking communists. I know a lot of people I know from Eastern Europe are actually into communism these days. But it makes me sick to my stomach, man. I don't know. We've almost eliminated communism from the entire planet. One of the only countries that's still doing it is China. And God, is it ever a nightmare fighting their communism. So to see communism coming over back into Canada, it's just sickening me. Especially the whole idea of just like tax the shit out of everyone that works and then give people on welfare like tons of money and just tell them to have as many kids as they can and never work. Seems like a disastrous policy. But yeah, that's what a lot of people are voting for these days. So I'm just going to try to stick clear of it. If they want to become a communist country, I'll probably just end up moving out into the woods somewhere. I'm not going to stay here and just pay all my income tax, like work 40 hours a week and have it all go to someone else. Fuck that shit. Hey, Steadfast is in the chat. He's wondering about the vaporizer. Yeah, let's see. How can you purchase it? Well, there is one way that you can get it right now without having to get my help at all. And you'll have to get the Extreme Q. I don't know if you've ever had the Extreme Q before. Or if you've ever heard of it. It's one of the most popular vaporizers, second to Volcano. A lot of people have heard of the Volcano. So if you already have the Extreme Q, then you're halfway there. And how I ended up getting it is I originally just went on eBay. Excuse me. And I tried finding the parts that I could make my own. Because I had the idea in my head. I'm like, holy shit, this vaporizer is working so good. But the problem was it had a plastic tube, like a rubber tube. And actually, it wasn't even silicone. It was actually rubber. So when I was inhaling vapor through that rubber hose, sucking the hose. When I was doing that, I started to get really bad lumps forming in my throat because I was taking in carcinogens with every breath. That rubber tube was not good for me, especially when it was heating up. But what happened is the company, Extreme Q, they decided to swap out the rubber hoses and they went with like a silicone hose. So I think silicone had far less carcinogens in it. So it started to taste way better and not as harsh, causing irritation in my throat. But then I'm like, fuck it, man. I hate this rubber hose. Oh, yeah, and that's what it was. The rubber or silicone tube kept getting the oil collecting in it. But when I drained it out of the tube, it still tasted a bit like the silicone or the rubber, no matter what the tube material was. So I was like, fuck it, man. I'm sick of all this stuff ruining the oil. So I'm just going to buy pieces that are all glass and substitute it out. So what I did is I found a part from chemistry sets that are called the airless gas bubbler. If you've ever heard of those before, probably not unless you're a chemist. What chemists use them for is when they hook it up to an experiment, they can watch the air pressure flow and how fast it is by how fast that chamber bubbles. You notice in the commercial how it bubbles? So that's what the chemists use it for, is they want to see how fast the air is going through so that they can monitor the flow. So they see the bubbles, they're like, okay, that's a good flow. So I realized that if I took an airless gas bubbler and hooked it up to the Extreme Q, instead of the vapor getting caught in some rubber or silicone tube, it would just get caught in the glass. And then once the glass chamber filled up, I could drain it out. So I guess since the viewers are asking, let me go grab mine. I'll show you how, well, you've seen it in the commercial. It looks just like that right now. But if people are like getting excited that this is going to be some fast process to collect the oil, the only way it becomes fast is if you run it non-stop. Because if you stop using it, it's obviously not producing anymore, and then it's not going to fill up quick. So the main reason I get so much oil is I'm in Canada, so I can pretty much just run my vaporizer non-stop because I have so much weed. Like I grew like 40 pounds of weed my first year just from 4 plants. So I was like, holy shit, 40 pounds? Like I can run this vaporizer non-stop for like years. So anyways, if you're running it non-stop, then it'll start collecting oil quick, but not quick as in like a couple hours. I mean quick as a few months. So you're still not going to be like getting oil overnight. The only way you can really get oil overnight is sort of like some people scrape their pipe when they're low on weed. If you scrape the inside of the vapor collector before the tank's full, obviously you can collect it sooner. And all the bowl attachments, they'll start to fill up and then you can scrape that. So you will get a little bit of the oil that you can use while you're waiting for the tank to fill. Now my plan was originally to take the airless gas bubblers and bring the price down. Because what happened is when I ordered the airless gas bubbler from the States, guess how much it cost? Close to $300. And I fucking priced around to try to find like the cheapest price, and I could only get it down to $300. So I was like, holy son of a bitch, man, that's a lot for just like a piece of glass. I think what it is chemistry equipment is usually pretty expensive. So obviously in the back of my head, I was thinking, dear God, if I ever want to release this product to the market, I can't be buying them parts like the airless gas bubblers from the States, because if I do, it just costs way too much. I could sell it for $500 and no one would buy it. So what I did is I talked to some local companies in Canada, and I tried to find out if I could buy a whole bunch and get them made here locally in Canada, if I could bring the price down. Yeah, so that's what happened is I got them made here locally in Canada, and I got the price down to like, I don't know, pretty cheap. Like compared to the $300, I think I got it down to $40 for each airless gas bubbler. So then I was looking at like, hey, I can make a company out of this, because all of a sudden I got this airless gas bubbler for, what was it, $40 instead of $300, and I was looking at decent profit. I'm like, hey, maybe I could get a company going out of this. So then what happened is I started like going to different stores and sharing my idea to see if they wanted the airless gas bubbler attachment for the Extreme Q. And every store I talked to, except for one, or no, two I should say. Well, actually, two. What happened was I went to all these different stores, did the demonstrations of how it works. It just blew everyone's mind. One guy was even with High Times, and he's like, dear God, man. He's like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. He's like, if you brought this to a High Times competition, you would win. He's like, it's not even close. And I'm like, what? You think it's that good? And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I started to get my hopes up that this invention idea was going to go great. Yeah, and so what happened was eventually after I talked to a whole bunch of stores, everyone wanted it, and they wanted a whole bunch of them. And I'm like, okay, this is going good, except for one store. And it was actually, this guy was actually pretty honest about it too. He's like, man, I love the device, but he's like, the one valve part on it is a little bit too weak. He's like, he doesn't want to sell it because he's worried that too many customers will bring it back because they broke it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a pretty valid concern because one of the parts was a little bit thin. And I'm like, yeah, you have to be careful with it or it would break. It's fucking glass after all, right? It's like glass is pretty fucking fragile to begin with. So what happened was, is that as I was doing that, I should try to remember how the fuck it happened. Oh yeah, I think what it was is I found out that the Extreme Q company was from Canada. So I'm like, holy shit, here I designed this vaporizer attachment for a vaporizer that I thought was from the States. I didn't even know it was from Canada. So I'm like, for interest's sake, why don't I just try messaging the Extreme Q company and seeing if they wanted to work together, like share the idea with them. And because I shared it with all the stores and they loved it, right? So guess what happens? The fucking company messages me back and they're like, hey, come meet us at our fucking headquarters, right? I'm like, whoa, meet you at your headquarters? Do I got to travel to Toronto? Do I got to travel to Vancouver, British Columbia? Where do I got to travel to do this? Guess where their fucking headquarters... I'm not actually allowed to say where their headquarters is, so I shouldn't, but it was within walking distance of my house. So I was like, holy shit, what are the fucking odds of that, right? So I was lucky. So when I went to go meet them, and I showed them the device, they fucking loved it too. Well, actually, some of them were a little bit skeptical, but the main, like the highest up people in the company, they really liked it. So I was like, all right. So what happened was, is I gave them one of my prototypes, and then they ended up giving it to some celebrities to try, and the fucking celebrities loved it too. So then they wanted to work with me to help get it made in cheaper in China. Because they're like, hey, like if you sell it for $40 a pop, that may sound good to you, like if you're ordering it for 40. But he's like, man, if you order these glass parts from China, you'll see your profit margins dramatically increase. So what they did is they helped me order a batch, and they paid for the shipping to have it come all the way from China on my behalf. So I got a whole fucking like huge like crate of them. And I got the price much, much lower than the $40. I can't even quote the price because, well, I guess I could quote the price. I think they got it down from like $40 down to about $2 to $4. So I was like, holy shit, that glass piece went from $300 down to $40, down to like a couple bucks. So I was like, holy fucking shit. But the problem is too, like I was thinking, oh, now I can sell it way cheaper. But the problem is the logistics of it. Like putting something together takes a lot of time. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of investment. And it's like a lot of risk. Same thing like that other guy was saying. You take a lot of liability on when you're selling a product. And if someone broke it or someone hurt themselves with it, all of a sudden you could be sued for millions, right? So like some of the other viewers on the show were talking, like I should try to get some sort of liability insurance for my product before I sell it. So that's kind of like in the bind I am now. I've got a huge crate of these things. I probably could give a few away as like prizes for the show, but I shouldn't really do it technically with the show because I could get in trouble for giving them away. So I don't know, just get a hold of me. If you already have the Extreme Q, let me know. And if you're like a big time YouTuber, I might even give you one just to like, or even not a big time YouTuber, if you can just make a video showing how well it works for you, I might even give you one. So if you want one really bad, I would try ordering it from eBay, see if you can get an airless gas bubbler. Or if you really want to be ambitious and try like making a video review of it, I might just give you one. No, the plan was to one day like sell them, but I don't know, man. The way my health is going right now, really I'm just focusing on getting my stomach back together so that I'm not shitting blood anymore. And that's really my main priority. That's why I kind of look at everything in life now. Like, why the fuck do I give a shit about some political election? I'm fucking, like, my health is so bad. I should be focusing on that. Like, not caring about what some politician does. So, I don't know to say, like, to promise that I'm going to release this invention one day. It's probably not going to happen, depending on how my health turns out. We'll see. But I shouldn't be too down the dumps. I'm hoping my health is just some sort of non-serious issue and they're able to cure it pretty quick. That'd be sweet. Yeah, so what a rush that whole experience was. To go from like it being so expensive, getting the cost down, everyone loving it, and then the huge legal ass hurdles. And oh yeah, and then I had my concussion. Right when I was about to start marketing it and like getting it onto market, I almost died in a work accident. So I've been pretty much the past few years just trying to get my head back together. It's fucking crazy trying to get over concussions. I never realized how serious they could be. Like really my concentration is literally about 2% of what it used to be. So like say like I could focus on a task and do something with 100% of my concentration, I'm down to about 2. Even 0.2, I would say. It's like so low, it's almost non-existent. So that made it extremely difficult. Like I can't even like do simple equations. Like I could look at an algebra equation with like 5 or 6 letters in it and I'm fucking lost, man. And I used to be able to do quadratic equations. So like the whole like mental aspect of running a company is like definitely beyond me now. If I had to do the taxes for a business, I'd be fucked. It's like it takes me a while to fill out a form with the date on it, right? So that's when I realized I was in real trouble with the concussion, is when I was doing the insurance. Like I was doing the concussion rehab, and the person at the government agency is like, man, you're ready to go back to work. I'm like, yo, I got injured real bad at this job and I'm still in rough shape. So yeah, I either need a new job sort of thing, or like I can't go back to the same one I was just injured at, right? So the lady, I know sounds really mean. She's like yelling at me like, yo, it's like you got to go back to work or else I don't get paid. So it's like you're going back to work like right now, right? So I'm like, well, you're going to have to help me find a new job then, right? Because like I'm having a lot of issues. So she's like, okay, well, let's start filling out this form to help you get on the track to get back to getting a new job. So she gives me the form. It took me about 45 minutes to get my name and the date on the form. Like I had to ask her help. I couldn't concentrate long enough to get the date down on the paper. And every time I did, I wrote it down wrong. So I'd have to like erase it, get a new form, try it again, another form, try it again. And then it took me about 45 minutes to get my name and the date on the form. And she's like, yep, you're ready for work. I'm like, it took me 45 minutes to write my name on a sheet of fucking paper. Like, I swear to God, that's like that lady who is ripping me to get back to work as part of the government unions that are breaking our fucking country down. So that's why I was like, that's one of the main reasons I really turned against unions, because they turned against me. So it's like I shouldn't be so negative about unions, but dear God, that was a horrible situation. Now I'm trying to look at it positively, because I know she was just trying to get paid. Like, who goes to work and doesn't want to get paid, right? So I gather it was her job to get me back to work. And it reminds me of the fighters in the UFC when they have their coaches in the ring. Even if the fighters like getting their ass kicked and they probably shouldn't go back out, it's almost the coach's job to be like, oh man, you can do it, just do it, man, you can do it. So that's why I kind of looked at her. I was like, maybe she's not just like taunting me, and she's really just trying to motivate me to get back to work. So luckily I am doing like 2 shifts a week now, and work is not going good. I've almost had some serious bad accidents and got hurt really bad again. So I really do need to find a new job. But yeah, the whole aspect of not being able to concentrate on shit really makes it hard to get a new job, because I'm like, fuck man, I can't even write my name on a piece of paper. Barely. Now I really wish the government would help me a little bit more, but at the same time I'm like, kind of take some pride in it. If I do get my life together again, I can say, hey, I did it without any help from that fucking bitch. That witch. Nah, she's just trying to do her job. Shouldn't give her a hard time. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen if I actually will get... You know what my real hope was? That I could eventually meet a woman that was like a decent wife, or not a wife, even like a girlfriend, that was good at business, so that I could have her help, someone to trust to actually release this thing, and have someone's help to do all the paperwork and stuff, because it's too much of an investment at this point. If I hired someone to do all this and the business flopped, I'm not in any position to try, because I can't even get back to work properly. If I went badly in debt, I'd be fucked. And not in a good way. Alright, let's get out of here and try this again. So ideally, what I'd like to do is get the company off the ground with someone's help, or after I recoup. I doubt the recoup is going to happen, because the accident was in 2018. I still haven't healed properly, so I don't see any time soon it actually going to heal completely, unless I went to Brazil or something, or Colombia, and got some crazy stem cell research done. I'm actually considering that, because I've heard some people say that could really help with concussions if you get shitloads of the illegal stem cells. Well, illegal in this country, not illegal in Colombia. But obviously with the world health situations, I won't be going anywhere anytime soon. I probably will never be allowed to leave the country for the rest of my life unless we get our control back from like Moderna and Pfizer and shit. I can't believe that they're the ones controlling our fucking government now. It's pretty sickening. But oh well. That's what I try to look at. Don't get too down the dumps. It's all challenges to work on. Dear God, if I had no challenges, I think it would bug me worse. So at least we got some sort of good challenge. Someone was asking me that today too. They're like, why don't you just leave Canada and escape? Like, take the money you have and run. And I'm like, well, as tempting as that sounds, what am I going to do? Run somewhere and lay on the beach all day in some sort of paradise? It's like, I'd much rather just be in a place where there's a whole bunch of hard work to do and actually have a purpose where I can like try to accomplish something. Not just going to be a coward and run. No, that's, I shouldn't say, but yeah, that's what I kind of look at where a lot of people run from their country because, yeah, you see it all the time on the news. They're like, man, our country's shit. They're like, I'm just running from this country and going to America. I'm like, well, dear God, man, like what happens to all the other people left behind then? You're just going to abandon them? And then they'll be in the same situation you were. It's like, why don't you fucking stay and actually try to fix the place, right? I know a lot of cases it's going to be impossible because you got some sort of drug lords or oil cartels or drug cartels that have controlled everything, but really unless someone fixes the problem, it's just going to keep happening. So I kind of want to be one of those people that tries to fix the problem and not just runs from it. I know in a lot of cases, like especially with Afghanistan now, like dear God, I'd probably be running out of there. But yeah, to each situation's different, right? Yeah, so who knows? Maybe I'll be able to get my invention off the ground and it'll be like for sale in an online store someday and I'll be able to do everything legally and legit. But in the meantime, I might just be giving them away because I literally have like my storage room just packed to capacity with all these things, and I literally got like 1,000 units to get rid of. I should say 1,000, probably like 1,500. No, the weird thing is, even though that I got them cheaper, obviously I can't sell them for that cheap because I'm not going to be able to remake them that cheap ever again. Because obviously the shipping prices for importing crates of stuff from China has gone up by tenfold. So I bet you if I tried to order that shipment again, it would probably go back up to like to the $40 mark. Those cheap parts from China, I think that ship has sailed. So that crate of them that I got, that's never going to happen again for that cheap. So if I was smart about it and I got the invention going again, I would just keep it at the same price. I think I was selling it for 100 or two. I'll have to check. Depending which currency you're in. I think US it's substantially cheaper because your dollar is worth a lot more from back when you used to have someone good in charge of your country who actually fixed your economy. So I laugh. I was telling everyone, as soon as Biden takes office, you do realize your dollar is going to tank and Canadian dollar is going to be worth more. And then within a few months of Biden taking office, yeah, our dollar started climbing again. Thank God. Now, I shouldn't make fun of Biden so much because really he does have, well, people make fun of him, they're saying he has dementia, but to be honest, I don't believe it. Because I've seen a lot of people, like in my family and friends and even myself, who struggled with dementia, and he doesn't really have the same symptoms. If I had to guess what Biden has, I think he's talking in an earpiece. So you know how like you're talking on the phone and you're talking to someone in person? How there's that disconnect to talking to two people? I think that's what's happening. He has that little earpiece in his ear and it makes it sound like he has dementia because he's trying to keep a conversation with two people. And it's a difficult thing to do. So yeah, I think that's the main reason. I almost wonder too if Trump lost the election on purpose, because if you make fun of people with dementia, there's so many people with dementia like in North America or in the world in general, or at least know people with dementia, that if you're going to be making fun of it, it's just going to hit them the wrong way, like totally. It's like kind of like using the R word to people that actually have mentally handicapped family and stuff. It's like you're never going to vote for someone who does that, right? So that's always almost wondering when Trump won the first time, he did things to try to win. And when he ran the second time, it almost seems like he did a lot of things to try to lose on purpose. Especially making fun of dementia. Like he had to know that was going to like at least lose 30% of his votes making fun of dementia. I don't think Trump is an idiot either. Like, I know a lot of people make fun of him for being stupid, but if I had to guess, his IQ is off the charts, and he just acts stupid. Why? It's a lot of people act stupid. I know a lot of times I kind of act stupid. I shouldn't do it so much, but I don't know. For me, it's not as much of an issue to act stupid because at least I have the memory issue, so it actually feels like I'm stupid in a way, even though my IQ is still relatively high. I've never actually done the IQ test, but just from when I talk to like really smart academics, I can sort of tell that like, yeah, I understand most of what they're saying, so I can't be that below average. I hope not. Really, you never know how smart you are, right? It's all a matter of perspective. It's like trying to smell your own stink. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen with that vaporizer. I appreciate all the support from the viewers about it, though. Wouldn't it be neat if the price came back down in China shipping and I could start popping these off and like turn my life around, save up enough money that I don't have to worry about the concussion as badly or the early dementia? Excuse me. Yeah, that's what I noticed the biggest hurdle with dating these days is I got so many issues that it's like, yeah, finding someone who's going to be able to deal with like memory loss is a pretty challenging subject. Like, I don't even have any friends left. Even my boss was at the point like he could barely work with me because I can't remember anything. Yeah. Oh well. No, I shouldn't bitch about memory so much too, because at least I have long-term memories left to some degree. When that goes, then I'll really have something to bitch about. Oh yeah, the other good news I had when I was doing the video editing this week, what happened was I went on a big trip. I think, what was it? Yeah, just before I had my concussion. I'm trying to remember. But anyways, I went on a trip and I vlogged the whole thing. And this was before I watched vlogging videos. So this was me just trying to learn how to vlog without even seeing anyone else do it before. So I vlogged the whole trip, and then when I got home, I couldn't check the footage on the road, so I could only check it when I got home. And I had a bad runny nose. So I was like, oh fuck. Like almost all the footage was just my nose running like crazy while I'm trying to talk. So I'm like, holy shit, that's not going to make a good vlog. So I just took the footage and threw it in storage. But then I was thinking to myself this week, I was like, shit, man, I'm pissed off because I can't travel and make a vlog. Meanwhile, I got all the footage from when I traveled before. So I was like, fuck it, man. Even if people see my nose is running and it looks gross, I'm just going to edit the video anyways. So I started editing the video, and holy shit, did it ever start turning out good. Not to like brag or anything, but compared to my other travel vlogs, I think this might actually even turn out to be my best one. Which won't be very difficult because I actually have a lot of shitty travel vlogs. Hey, Altsinger, how's it going? Altstinger11. Yeah, that's a pretty cool name. Yeah, the training games for memories, I tried them a little bit, and it does seem to help a little bit. So that's why I'm hoping that maybe there is hope yet. The only concern I have is that I went to go get my brain scanned with an MRI at like the government insurance office, and they wouldn't give me a straight answer if my scan came back clean. Like, I got them to check my brain to see how bad the damage was. The only thing they told me is that whatever is on the scan couldn't have come from my injury. So I was like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean you found something good or bad? And you know what the response was from the union? They're like, you will have to file a Freedom of Information Act in order to get your health records to find out what they say. You know what I told them? Go fuck yourself. And I just said, fuck it. You won't tell me what my own health results are? Fine. I just won't look. Sons of bitches. So I don't know if there actually is some actual physical damage or if it is actually repairable. Let's hope it's repairable. Can you imagine dealing with a government insurance like that? And that's the scam too, is we don't have the option for that insurance. You have to pay it. So I'm like, I'm paying for this insurance, and then when it came time to use it, they just fought me about everything. So I was like, why the fuck would you pay insurance if the insurance will never help you? So that's where the one thing with government insurance is anytime someone says, let's make the government insurance mandatory, I'm like, fuck that shit. I've already gone down that road before, and I've seen how that works. All right, let's do some casino spin, something to cheer shit up. Now, I'm not really that down in the dumps. I had one beer. It actually cheers me up dramatically. I know I shouldn't use booze to cheer up, but fuck, it's working. It gets me through. And if I only have to drink one beer to cheer up, it's not that bad. Fuck, there's probably some people that are hooked on drinking like 20 beers a day, and they're like, dear God, you're worried about drinking a beer or two a day? But it always expands from there, right? It's like you have 1 cigarette 1 week, 2 cigarettes the next, 3 cigarettes the next week. Next thing you know, you're at a pack. That kind of reminds me of the whole cycle of this. People are like, oh, you just need 1. Oh, now you need 2. Oh, now you need 3. Oh, now we're going to need 3 each year. It's like, you're kind of doing that same cycle, right? Like, you're all of a sudden becoming addicted to something where you can't stop taking it. I don't know. Hopefully it's for the better in this situation, but that's why I'm kind of like, when they started forcing us to take this, you know, I'm like, oh, I already got enough problems. I don't need to start adding more to the list. Come on, Darius. Where are you, Darius? No, it's a shame, because if we would have won that Hunger Games, we would have added Genie to the team today. So, hey, Augusto, how's it going, man? No, I appreciate everyone tuning in. I was worried no one was going to tune in because I wasn't able to do a show for 2 days. That's one big thing in the YouTube community. They say when you get a channel going, you really have to like stream every day if you want to keep the channel building. As soon as you stop for like even like a few episodes or like even a week, a lot of your viewers will just like not be watching your show anymore. So that's one of the main reasons when I wanted to get my channel up to 1,000 subs, I just kept streaming every day to try to like make sure that there's always a chance that someone will be watching or someone will sub. Oh yeah, and did I ever get some good news like health-wise today? One of the musicians, yeah, if George Washington turns into the show later, he knows Alicia Brilla. She's a really good singer. She's a local singer. Yes, we got this. Maybe that's a sign I'm talking about something good. Yeah, there he is. No, anyways, I started listening to Alicia. Her music is kind of girly. Like, you know, girls tend to have like a little bit more girly music. So right off the bat, I was like, I don't know if I like it because it's a little bit girly. But I noticed her rhythms and her beat and all the topics she talks about. It's usually very inspiring and just makes you feel better. So that's why I started listening to her. Yeah, and she did a talk today online. Oh, fuck, man. YouTube's cutting out. Son of a bitch. All right, let's do a refresh. Oh, that's a pretty bad refresh. Let's try another. Yeah, so I was listening to her, and she's very positive all the time. Well, I shouldn't say all the time, but a lot of the time she's very positive. So when I was listening to her talk and do her speech today, I could feel my stomach. I could like feel my heart, even my chest, all the stress in my head just starting to melt away. So it's like, man, I really got to try to focus to hang around and listen to and just pick up that positive energy instead of always being so negative. Because, God, like even the slightest bit of positive energy makes such a huge difference. All right, there's Trump. Let's try again. Oh, wait, we're going to check these. Oh, yeah. Got the Vibram tokens. So that's what I figure. I'm going to try to focus more on being a little bit more positive. I can't be super positive all the time because it's just in my nature these days. It seems to be skeptical of everything. But, oh yeah, we can keep doing spins. Hey, we could even get another Vibram token reward. All right, so let's try doing some more spins. Let's try some royals, even though the royal usually fucks us. Oh, shit, I almost hit refresh. Let's try a royal. Oh, come on. Try another. Shit, man, they just won't give us any heroes. Come on, it's like there's so many heroes on here. Hook us up. No! Alright, they're just not giving us what we need. Let's try some more of these. Yeah, so I think I'm going to steer clear of the politics. Try to steer towards some more positive stuff. Listen to Alicia's music more. I don't know, the way she talked about music and how it can like cure your life of like so much stress. I'm like, man, I should really try to get into music more. I can't play any instruments. The closest I ever got to is drums. But when it comes to whistling, I can whistle pretty much better than anyone I've heard, except for professionals. Like mouth whistling. There is one whistler I've heard better than me, and his name is Andrew Bird. If anyone wants to listen to some really good whistling, Andrew Bird, he's amazing. I actually listen to him occasionally because he's like so good that I can learn from him. So yeah, I'll occasionally listen to him whistle. I'm one of those people where if like you hear a song once, I can whistle the whole thing, even though I can't actually read music. But usually if I hear a song, I can just like memorize the beat and whistle it. I don't think whistling works too good with these type of microphones. And if I did whistle something, I'm not sure if YouTube would take it down. I'll try to think of something that I can whistle on YouTube without any. That's what I was wondering too. If I whistle a real song, will it get a copyright strike? That'd be weird, eh? Maybe I'll just be so shitty at the songs that they can't understand it and it won't actually register as being a copyright. That'd be cool. No, who I learned to whistle from was my grandfather, or my step-grandfather. He was a really good whistler, even better than me. So I used to go on canoeing trips up north, and he would whistle the whole trip, and I was just blown away at how good he could whistle. So then I started practicing, and I think it was in grade 9 that I started practicing whistling like every day, all the time. And then when I got older, I got a pet parrot, and he was a Congo African Grey, and he was also really good at whistling. So then we used to have whistling competitions where he would whistle something and I'd whistle it back. We would try to imitate each other to see who could do it better. Yeah, I miss that parrot. He was like one of my best friends for quite a while. He was so smart. Sadly, he died very young, especially for a parrot. Like those parrots cost like $2,000 and he died, I don't know, like I think he would have been about 10 years old and they're supposed to live to be 100, so yeah, he died really young. Sadly, I think it was my cat that scared him to death. My dad wasn't very smart about it. He used to leave the cat and the parrots around each other, and it's not a good idea. Like even if the cat doesn't attack the bird, birds are instinctively terrified of cats. So if they even see one too close to them, they can have a heart attack. So I don't know if that's what killed him, but oh yeah, and they put him in isolation. Everyone got tired of looking after him after I moved out of the house. I came back to see where they had put him. They put him in a room by himself. So he was stuck in a room by himself all day, every day. And for a really social animal, like a parrot like that, that must have been a death sentence. God, I miss that bird. He was so cool. That's what I was thinking. When I do my song for the show, I'm definitely going to add some whistling parts to it. So don't worry, people will hear me whistle eventually. Normally when I whistle too, it has to be like some sort of like feeling that I want to whistle, so it's hard to do it just on command. It's like I'll get in a mood where I want to whistle a song that I really like and I'll just whistle it. And whistling is a good skill to have, even though it's illegal now. Like you can't even whistle in public because it's considered against the virus rules or whatever, but I find it's neat because a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't have a ghetto blaster. I don't have headphones. I can't listen to music. For me, I can just make my own music wherever I go. I don't have to rely on some tape player or fucking Walkman or something. Or CD, or what am I talking about? Tape player, CD player, MP3 player. That's it. I'm like 3 generations behind. Yeah, someone's beating that team. So can we beat this team? Oh, God, no. Can we beat that team? God, no. Well, I don't know. I would say no. We can't beat that team. All right, let's try this team. Man, this team almost looks a little bit harder. I should go for them and let someone else kill this team. Because it looks like they already got it down pat. They've won 1 battle. Alright, so what should I do? What do you say? Fight the hard team? Yeah, let's fight the hard team. See if we can beat them. They're level 246, so this should be a good challenge. They got Wind of Fury as a healer. I think we can do it. No, so I was thinking of doing is I think the band that I know, like Alicia Brilla, she has a few different bandmates that do different gigs. So I was thinking maybe I could try to hire them for a concert. That'd be great. Because I know I can't really go to her concerts and see her play live, but it would be kind of neat to like hire her for a birthday party or something, but actually hear her play again. That'd be nice. I remember the last time I seen her play live, we were at a place called the Boathouse. Went with my friend Matthew, and when we got there, it was a pretty good atmosphere, big party. Drank a little bit too much, but oh, it was a fundraiser for the Syrians. That's what it was. No, we were trying to raise money to help the Syrians get to Canada, which I know some people are kind of laughing because it's like a lot of times I'm not always super positive about migrations, but I don't know. I'm one of those people that tries to see both sides of things. As much as I make fun or not make fun or critical of the whole Canada's migration plans, if someone's in help, I'll try to help them. Or if someone needs help, even if I don't totally agree with why they need help. No, I think we raised quite a bit of money for them too. Like, I think there was like close to like, can't remember, did they raise a few thousand? And then some guy was like, yeah, whatever you match, he'll match. So I think we came close to raising like 10 grand for the Syrians. Oh yeah, and she held a dinner. So I was able to go to her place and hang out with her, have dinner. I didn't really get to talk to her much because there were so many other people at the dinner, but it was still fun. Yeah, how many celebrities do you know like that, right? They're like a band that plays in your city. They'll hold charity dinners where you can go over to their house. Well, I think it was one of her friends' houses, but still got to hang out with her in public. It's pretty wild. Yeah, that's when I realized that she's actually a super nice person. I know a lot of people give her a hard time because she's very into the activism. You know, people kind of hate activists these days. If it's like Greta or someone coming in to shut down your oil wells, they're not exactly welcoming her. But yeah, still, she was really nice, so who knows, maybe that'll happen. That'd be sweet if it did. Now I'm going to try to listen to her music a little bit more because she has such positive music and I get a lot of good vibes when I listen to it, so yeah, I'm going to try to do that more. Yeah, whistle while you work. Various artists, his little melody. Yeah, I'm trying to think what's a good song to whistle. Now I'd whistle one of her songs, but I don't think anyone would have heard it before. Oh yeah, there's a couple whistle songs in regular music. What is it? Trying to think, what are some good ones? Oh yeah, Guns N' Roses, they have a whistle song. Who else? I think Sting or someone. Was he the one that had a whistle song? No, sadly I don't remember the Guns N' Roses one. If I heard it play, then I could whistle it. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe I'll try to get more into whistling. That'd be kind of neat if I could start traveling around with a band, but I don't know if any band would really want a whistler. It's kind of a weird instrument to play. But you never know. Like, her band is very open. Her drummer is a little bit of a different guy, so I shouldn't really count myself out yet. All right, we used up all our attack chances. Oh, was it me that beat this one? Yeah, it must have been, because we only have 2 there. Dum-da-dum-dum. Oh, well. That's what I get when I'm talking too much and not paying attention to the show. Or the game. Paying more attention to the game and less to the show. Oh yeah, that was the other good news I got. Remember how I was talking about I'm going to get some big guests on for like an actual more different topic shows? Well, I've got some a show lined up for this Friday. So if anyone's wondering what other topics I do for shows, we should be doing a podcast this Friday. I can't remember the time. I'll have to look it up, but we're going to do a practice show on Thursday to make sure it goes right. So it might not even go right. We'll see. But if it does, Friday we'll have, I think, 2 guests on the show. And we're going to be talking about like, you know how like psychics do, what is it called? Like, not prophecy, but readings or whatever. They can get your palm read or something. Well, what these guys are into is Santeria. And I didn't even know that Santeria has this sort of like reading stuff to it as well. They started to try to do a reading for me, and I don't know. It was kind of, some of it was right, some of it was wrong, but you never know, right? Like, I'll have them on the show, talk to them more about it. We might even be able to get some readings done. So if anyone's into that kind of thing, there should be a live show going on Friday. That's always kind of joking. I was like, hey, when I vaporize weed too much and I'm drinking booze all the time and just not getting anything done, as soon as I dropped all that, it's like, bam, got the guest done, got my show edited, got this done, got that done. The only thing I really noticed that's gone downhill since I quit smoking weed is I don't enjoy a lot of the same activities that I used to. Like, normally if I vaporized a little bit through the day, I don't bike right after, but it's like normally I feel like going for a bike ride. So it's like lately I just haven't biked at all. I've just been super drained, having migraines all the time from the withdrawal. But luckily I didn't get a migraine for the first time today. I think I had migraines every day for 5 days straight going through the withdrawal. And they were pretty intense. I was taking like 2 Tylenols twice a day just to get over the withdrawal. But I know it's nothing compared to like going through withdrawal from real stuff. Like, I'm sure anyone who's hooked on opiates would laugh at that. They'd be like, dear God, you got 5 days worth of headaches? That's a fucking walk in the park. Oh yeah, and I started to get my dreams. I remember last time I was telling you guys that when I quit smoking weed, I usually get hit with really intense visions. Sadly, I had one of the worst nightmares I've ever had. So that was one negative or positive, I guess. It was one of those prophetic dreams where I remembered exactly what happened. And I remembered it even the next day and the day after and the day after. So I was like, fuck, man, this better not come to pass. No, what happened is someone I know who is against this was already having like previous health conditions. I can't remember if they're like a heavy smoker or whatever. So even though they were against this, I was kind of like worried. So I was like, I hung out with them, and I was just hadn't hung out with them in a really long time in this dream. Like, I haven't actually seen them since I was about 16 or 17. So how long ago is that? Like, fuck, man, long time ago. Over 20 years ago. So I hadn't seen her in a while, and we were hanging out, and we were like making out in the dream. So I was like, oh geez, we're getting back together, right? And then right as I thought everything was going great, then all of a sudden she started feeling really sick. So I was like, all right, let me take you home. You're not feeling so good. And then when she went and laid down, her family came and she's like, we got bad news. And they took the blanket and laid it over her head. I was like, oh my God, did she just die? And then I woke up. So I was like, holy shit, I sure hope that doesn't come to pass. That actually freaked the shit out of me. It's not nice to see your friends and family die in visions, to say the least. So I'm praying that that doesn't happen. I even tried to warn them. So hopefully that, I tried to warn them discreetly by not actually telling them directly. Because I know in a lot of cases, if you warn someone like that, they kind of look at you like, what the hell are you talking about, right? You had visions that something bad's going to happen. That's the one thing I'm a little bit skeptical about, the whole like paranormal field where people can do readings and stuff. But meanwhile, I'm a dream prophet where I can dream the future. So really, I shouldn't be that skeptical. Fuck, if anyone should be skeptical, it should be other people of me. So thankfully I didn't hear anything bad. That hopefully she's still okay. And I haven't like met her and maked out with her or anything. So that part of the dream didn't come to pass. And she's actually married now. So that's definitely not going to be coming to pass anytime. No, but then the other girls that I kind of went out with before, I messaged them. And they actually did catch the thing we're not allowed to talk about. And they didn't take this. But thankfully they said it was the most mild thing they've ever had. That they, even without taking any medications, they were better in a few days. So I'm hoping Kaminsky's okay. I haven't seen him in a while, and he was saying that he had it, so hopefully he had it as mild as everyone else I know. I shouldn't say everyone. I know one person had it rough out of about 50 people that I know of that told me they had it and was super mild. Yeah, the other weirdest thing I was hearing today, there was a family where half of the people were double this, and the other half weren't. And they all got sick with it, and they all had the exact same symptoms. So they were wondering, like, did this even do anything if half the people in the family had the exact same symptoms, even as the ones that didn't? So I don't know. It could just be the age factor, maybe a pre-existing health things. I don't know. I'm no doctor, that's for sure. Oh, we fought Nick. Sorry, Nick. No, so I'm praying everyone be careful. Like I know if I was saying before, if I was in really rough health situation, which I kind of am, I should be getting this right away. And I probably would recommend anyone else who is in rough shape not to take any chances. Even Joe Rogan says that, right? He's like, if you're already in rough shape, you probably don't want to take the chances. I think his whole thing is if you're already in good shape and have a super immunity, that it's less risky, but it's still risky. Not trying to say that just because you're in good shape, you're going to fly through it like nothing. Who knows what'll happen, right? I don't even think the experts know. Alright, let's get some of these missions done. No, after I had that nightmare and I woke up, I couldn't sleep. I pretty much only had like 2 hours of sleep that night. It's like I was definitely not going to bed after seeing that. Holy shit, 5 viewers already. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, when you have a little melody going, it does make housework that much easier. That's what I used to do. I used to vacuum floors for a living. So I would have like a huge building where I'd have to vacuum for like 4 hours. And then while I was vacuuming, I would definitely whistle the whole time. And it wasn't annoying for other people because I was the only person in the building at that time. So I could whistle like crazy and no one else could even hear me. So I used to whistle for like 4 hours a day, every day for like 9 years. You definitely pick up a little bit after that. I kind of miss vacuuming. It's kind of annoying of a job it sounds. It's actually very relaxing because it's like you see all of your progress. Like you come into a room and it's just trashed. And then as soon as you finish vacuuming, it just looks amazing. So it's like so fulfilling. You're like, wow, my life is actually accomplishing stuff. You can see the difference right away. If I wasn't here, this place would be trashed. And it was very relaxing too, because when you're a vacuumer, you don't really have to think much. It's like you have the same pattern that you do every day. So I would just, it was almost like muscle memory. My body would just do it and I wouldn't even have to concentrate. So I could think about other stuff. That's the one thing, if you have an office job that you have to think all the time, you really don't have time to think about what you want to think. You have to think about what the business wants. Where if you vacuum floors, I can think about gravity well research. I can think about Bigfoot. Doesn't matter what I'm thinking about. I can think about boobs. Bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Alright, so what do we got for battles that we can do? I think we got to do the arenas. Or no, these arenas, the triple battles. Let's do a few of those. Yeah, let's try this one. I think that one beer is enough for today. I was thinking splurging and having 2 beers, but why? I got an okay glow from that. I don't have to overdo it. That'll be enough for my cholesterol from all this weight loss to get out of my system. So that's what I was worried about. I seen so much cholesterol coming out of my system. I'm like, holy shit. If I'm not adding a little bit of alcohol to this to help get it through my veins without clogging my arteries, I might actually be doing more harm than good by not drinking alcohol. But the whole thing is not to do it excessively. 1 beer should be enough. Get that cholesterol through. I know some people think that it's only wine that helps with cholesterol, but I'm pretty sure it's the alcohol in general, right? I could be wrong about that. If anyone knows, they can put it in the chat. Because I'm pretty sure the whole wine thing is just because it's alcohol, right? They say the little bit of alcohol helps clear out the arteries. I don't know how true that is. Hopefully it is. Oh yeah, and that was the other weird thing. I don't know if anyone's heard about my ancient mystery research. A lot of times I'm involved in these projects that have these huge cover-ups. I always laugh too because people are mocking me and making fun of me, saying the projects I'm working on aren't anything important and that they're not even real. And I'll be like, okay, well, that's great, because if it's not real, then I won't have to worry about anyone trying to stop me from doing it, right? So what happened is I was doing a project up north, and I found this huge clue, and I filmed it all on my trip. And then when I came back, someone told me that that clue that I filmed got removed. So what it was is there was this giant plaque that had all this information on it, and I was using the information on that plaque to try to solve the mystery. So I'm like, hey, this is part of the mystery. Let's look at this plaque. And then apparently after I told everyone about that, they removed the plaque and took it away. So a lot of the people that follow the mystery that I've been working on are like, holy shit, man, did you hear? They took the plaque away that you were talking about. I'm like, really? They took the plaque away? That thing was there for years. Why the hell would they just all of a sudden come and remove it? So anyways, what happened was when I was doing my video editing project, I had taken pictures of this plaque and video. And so I'm like, hey, if they took it away, I should look more carefully on what's on this plaque. Because apparently there were some Freemasons that were involved. So I was like, I never found any real evidence to like link the Freemasons to the mystery. It was just speculation. But when then I looked at that plaque, the plaque had a name on it that I completely glossed over the first time I was looking. So it was like this Dr. Reddick guy, you know, like Reddick Bow or whatever, or in the movie Reddick. So anyways, there was this Dr. Reddick that was part of the plaque. So I typed up his name into Google to find out who this Dr. Reddick guy was. And it turned out not only was he one of the a major Freemason, but he was traced back to, what is it, I forget the name of the lodge, but it was like a really popular lodge. So I looked up the history of the lodge, and it was a lodge that tried to get George Washington to be the member, like the Grand Master. So I was like, holy shit, not only is it connected to the Freemasons, but some pretty big ones, right? Can't get really much bigger than George Washington, for God's sakes. Yeah, if George is listening, he'd probably like that. So I don't know, when I was doing the editing and that whole information came up, I was like, isn't that funny? I recorded that video like years and years ago, and I'm still just solving parts of the mystery today. So if anyone wants to see the plaque and the whole Freemason mystery and what it's covering up, it'll be coming out in the video soon. Hopefully I don't get into too much trouble, because, I don't know, you gotta be careful with those Freemason guys. I know a lot of them are really good people, but there's definitely going to be some bad ones too, right? No, in a lot of cases, they seem to be following me around, so that was another weird thing as well. There was even one time where I was like working at a job, and there was this guy that was, I'm pretty sure was a Freemason. He came and started working with us, and he was even saying that he would like work for free. He just wanted to hang out with us. I was like, well, that's really weird, right? Like, why would some rich guy come and want to hang out and mow lawns with me? That was really fucked up. So I don't know, like he worked with us, and he's a good guy and all. I didn't have any problems with him, but he did seem very suspicious. And he did ask me a lot of weird questions too. I can't even think about it and what they were, because it was so many years ago now. But yeah, at the time, I remember it was very strange. Some really rich guy just coming to hang out with you at work. That's fucked. And offering to do your job for free. Reminds me of the Mormons. The Mormons tried to get me to be one of their priests or whatever. They wanted me to come do talks at their church, and I was like, guys, I can't do the church talks because I got jobs to do, right? Like, I'm poor, I need to go to work. So you know what the Mormons said? The Mormons offered to send people to do my job for me so that I could still get paid and do the church stuff. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You want me to talk that bad? That was really weird. I don't really know too much about the Mormon stuff, so that's why it kind of freaked me out to go and talk. I don't want to go and get involved in some cult or something. I probably should have. That would have been wild, right? Go talk at a church and have all these guys do your work for you. That'd be wild. I was even trying to explain to them, I'm like, guys, if you send someone to do my job, you're going to have to send multiple people, because my job is so difficult. Usually it takes 2 or 3 people to do it. And then they're like, okay, we'll send that many. I'm like, what? You're going to send 3 people to do my job for me? Imagine telling my boss, I'm like, sorry, boss, I'm not coming into work today, but there'll be 3 Mormons coming in to take my place. He'd be like, what? The Mormons? No, I think the Mormons like it because they're involved with that ancient mystery stuff. So when they find someone who's really into ancient mysteries, they kind of want to get them to work for them. I guess. I don't know. What was it? Joseph Smith and some like tablets or something? That's the only thing I know. I basically know everything I know about Mormons from an episode of South Park. No, they even gave me a copy of their Bible, but I didn't read it yet. I've not even finished the regular Bible. Now, I shouldn't make fun of the Mormons, though. They were super nice people. What happened was I was actually on that trip up north to travel, and I was stuck in a layover for like, I don't know, 8 hours. So I went to the beach, and all of a sudden the Mormons came up to me and started talking to me, and I had no one else to talk to for 8 hours. So I'm like, hey, guys, I don't mind talking. Let's talk. Next thing you know, we had this like hours long conversation, and I've got a job working for the Mormons if I want it. Yeah, I should have went to that Mormon church. Maybe I would have liked the church. Probably would have been full of hot babes too, I bet. Damn, I missed out. Yeah, there's nothing like the Catholic women. They're a little bit asking for forgiveness. They get in naughty trouble. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder about the whole undercover stuff because, man, there's been some weird situations where people are like, man, the stuff you're working on is pointless. It's all wrong. And I'm like, well, if it's all wrong, why is there so many cover-ups, right? Like, what the fuck? The strangest I had is when I got involved researching this Stonehenge site. I started like contacting as many people as I could to try to find information about it. And I started collecting all this information. And then I found a reporter from like a newspaper up north, one of the best reporters in the city, like a big city too, like over 100,000 people. So this reporter, I started talking to her, and she's like, oh my God, you're finding out so much more than I could. She's like, can you help me find more information? And I was like, isn't this weird? Like some of the top reporters from a city are asking me for help to try to solve the mysteries that they're working on. Meanwhile, I got other people telling me it's nothing. So it's like one extreme to the next. Spend half the day of people making fun of me, and then the other half of people are saying I'm the most amazing ever. And I'm kind of stuck in the middle wondering which is which. It's probably halfway. Yeah. No, what happened was the Stonehenge, the government came in and they did this big survey to try to find out if they could prove if it was a real Stonehenge or not. And at the end of the investigation, they took all their data and covered it up. And not only did they cover up the data, they took all the signs that showed you how to get to the Stonehenge, and they took them all down. And not only did they take the signs down, but they went in and planted trees. So they planted trees all in the middle of the Stonehenge to try to make it look like there's no rocks there, because now there's all these trees growing everywhere. I'm like, wow, that's quite the extreme to go for something that was nothing, right? Yeah, and then, that lady from the newspaper, she was still trying to get information about the government survey. So I started to like dig in to see if I could get a copy of the government survey. And I found someone who thinks they have it, but I tried to put him in charge with the newspaper lady. And I don't know what happened from there. Maybe they got a hold of each other. Maybe they didn't. No, and the last time I went, well, actually the first time when I went to go see the Stonehenge, there was a Freemason guy there waiting for us. So I was like, how did he know, right? Like, but he didn't stop us. Yeah, we were actually having trouble finding it. And I went up to him and I asked him, like, hey man, do you know where the Stonehenge is? And he's like, you're a stranger. Like, why are you talking to me? And then he's like, I asked him too. I'm like, why are you here? Like, you're out in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, oh, I'm looking for my lost dog. That's what it is. Have you seen my dog anywhere? And I was like, no, I didn't see your dog. We're in the fucking middle of the woods, like miles away from any houses. How the hell would your dog be here? But he helped us find the Stonehenge. I asked him, he gave us the directions, so we were able to find it. So that's why I shouldn't say Freemasons are all bad. Despite them spying on me, I was actually still able to get some help from them. And who knows, maybe he was actually just looking for his dog. The only thing that sounded really suspicious about that whole dog story is we went farther away to like another part of town and we got followed again. And when I asked this person why they were following us, it was this lady. And she's like, same reason. She's like, oh, I lost my dog. Have you seen it anywhere? I'm like, you lost your dog too? It's like, how many people out in the woods here are all losing their dogs? Maybe that's the thing in the country. People just let their dog roam wild in woods that's filled with bears and moose and cougars. I'll just let my dog roam in there. No, even someone I told was kind of like laughing. They're like, what? Both of the people had lost their dogs? It's like, what are the odds of that? Totally unrelated people. The one guy was a guy. The other one was a girl. So it could have been Eastern Star. Some people say that Freemasons are only guys, but they actually do have a whole women's division. And all the women Freemasons I've met, like the Eastern Star, they've been super nice. So I shouldn't really say anything bad about them. Most of them are really hot, too. Like super hot. Man. Oh, come on. We can't beat the genie. Yeah, the only thing with the video, I'm a little bit worried how it's going to turn out, is I didn't realize how good camcorders microphones are. Like, I've been using action cams and, like, different, like, yeah, mainly action cameras. And the microphones are never really very good. Oh, yeah, did we win? Yes. I think we did. But anyways, the microphone on this camera was so sensitive, it could hear all my footsteps. So I'm like, that's a really weird vlog to do, where your microphone is so sensitive you can hear your footsteps. Never had that problem before. But the nice thing is, at least my talking in the video is very loud, so I don't have to worry about trying to boost the audio. At least this microphone was so loud that my talking actually seems loud too. Now, if anyone's wondering more information about this Stonehenge, apparently it's the oldest one in the world. So that's the weird thing about it. Like, why would the oldest Stonehenge in the world be in northern Canada? That's a really weird situation, right? So I won't spoil too much about the video. I guess I'll leave some for it. You can try to find out all the clues, and maybe if any of the viewers know more information about it. I know a lot of the Freemasons have actually started telling me they actively watch my work, so it's like... They even came to see me at a convention once. That was the weirdest thing. Yeah, I wish I would have recorded those conventions. God, when the military came to talk to me and then the Freemasons came to talk to me, I was like, dear God, who's next? There's still people that are saying that there's nothing to it. Yeah, thank God my cousin was there for some of it. So I had witnesses to actually see how weird these situations were. Because what I did is I took all the information that I've been collecting on this Stonehenge and I put it in a binder and I paid shitloads of money to get a booth at one of the Fan Expo conventions. So people all over the world have probably heard of Fan Expo now. It used to be just a Toronto thing, but it expanded to like Boston and all these other cities. And it's basically a convention where it has comic books, video games, and science fiction. So I was like, hey, if I got this weird paranormal research about a Stonehenge, maybe I could just sort of theme it as like sci-fi or something and go to the convention and share it with people. So that's what I did. I paid all this money, got a booth at a convention, and started just sharing it for free. And people were always so weirded out. They're like, come to the booth and like, hey, what's this that you have at this booth? I'm like, I got information about a Stonehenge in Canada. And they're like, what? So it's like I start teaching them about it, and they're like, dear God, this stuff's amazing, right? And they're like, so what are you selling? And I'm like, well, I don't actually have anything for sale. And they're like, what? It's like, you paid all this money to come to a convention, share information. You're not even selling anything? Yeah, and that's when the Freemasons came up to me. They came up to my booth because I had a bunch of the Freemason material in the book because part of it came up in the research. So they came up to me and they're like, hey, I can't remember if they told me they were Freemasons. They're like, are you allowed to share that Freemasonry work? I'm like, It's like, this is just my research about it, not actually selling anything. Like, well, they're like, as long as you're not selling this work, we're okay with it. And I was like, well, personally, I'm just like researching a topic. It's like, I don't really have to ask anyone's permission to do that, but it's nice that you guys are okay with it. Yeah, and then the other part was that the following year, it wasn't the Freemasons that came up to my booth, but the military did. And it was 2 guys from the military. And they came up and they're like, hey, man, we're from like the Canadian Armed Forces or whatever. I can't remember what division they said. And they're like, we've heard about your work. And I'm like, whoa, that's kind of fucked up, right? The military's heard about my work. And the one guy's like, I really hate your work and I don't think you should be sharing it anymore. And then the other guy was like, I like your work and I hope you keep sharing it. So I was like, that was a really weird conversation. Like, why would 2 military guys come up to you and have one say that they like it and one saying they don't? I was like, that was fucked. It was almost like the good cop, bad cop situation. So that kind of freaked me out as well. Oh, we still got another ticket. Let's do it. Yeah, I try not to get too conspiratorial so that it's not like like an undercover boss or something. But then occasionally I even get people from overseas, I won't mention any names, that came all the way to Canada to see my work. Like, I'm talking like all the way from like Eastern Europe or something. And then when they came, I was like, it was a little bit suspicious. And then after I found out they were in the military too, so I was like, holy shit, right? Like, now it's not only the Canadian military who's into this, but military from other countries is coming to see it. That's pretty fucked up. No, she was a really hot babe, or probably still is, so I didn't mind that she came to see the work. I was a little bit worried that she was going to like push me off the edge of a cliff or something, sort of like a James Bond movie. But I was like, hey, if she's going to try to kill me, maybe we'll get to make out first at least. That usually how it goes in the James Bond movie, right? Make out, then she tries to kill you. No, but luckily she never tried to kill me, so that was good, as far as I know. Or what I was thinking, she just didn't believe my work was any worthwhile, so that she didn't need to. Let's hope. No, I still talk to her occasionally, but I don't think she's coming back anytime soon, so we should be okay. No, as far as travel vlog goes, like, I actually brought my drone that trip, and I got some decent footage with it, so that I think will help boost up the production value a little. As kind of weird as all these topics are, at least if the production quality is pretty good, maybe I'll get a decent amount of likes out of it. Excuse me, sorry. It's the beer's fault. I had nothing to do with it. Now, if anyone's able to help like my computer video, I appreciate it. I just published it yesterday if you want to find it. Now, it already got 7 likes, so I was really happy with that because I was like, oh, I might not even get any likes. And then when I went to bed, woke up in the morning, all the likes were gone. So I was like, oh, fuck, did everyone just unlike it? And then later this afternoon, all the likes came back. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I've actually seen this happen with quite a few of my videos, except for the Clone Evolution ones. It's weird. If I do like video game ones, the likes always stay consistent. But if I do like a protest downtown video or something, then all of a sudden the likes just vanish off the channel. And then sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. So I don't know why the computer video would have that. That's kind of weird. Why all of a sudden all the likes would just vanish off of it. But I think what it is maybe the YouTube algorithm has started to like scan people's videos, take the likes away, verify that they're real likes, and then give them back if they are. That's the only thing I can think of. Why else that would happen, I have no idea. No, and when is the travel vlog video going to be done? I know a lot of people have been asking me that. There's actually quite a few guys from Europe that are into Stonehenge that follow my work. I don't know if they're Freemasons too, probably, but Anyways, they've been asking me, so I've been telling them, it's like, yeah, guys, I got like 90% of it all done, but it's always that last 10% that takes a long time, right? Like, sure, you can edit all the bad parts out of the video, but then you have to add the music, then you have to add the titles, and you have to like make sure everything's in the right order. Not that you want one scene first and last. So I'll have to do all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking I could really just release it tomorrow, but I should probably add more polish to it, make it a little bit more fancy. Although it could be one of those videos, you do it, everyone hates it because they have no idea what you're talking about, where you're traveling. And but man, I did actually, when I think about it, I did like a whole tour of the place I was staying. So that was pretty good for a travel vlog. I did a tour of the food I was eating. I did a tour of the ancient sites, and I even did a tour of a mountain climb. So I think that's a decent travel vlog. The only thing that sucked about the travel vlog, it was just me the whole time, because I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so I didn't run into any other people. And when I did, I was scared to film them, because that was back when I first started to get into travel vlogging, so I didn't even know how to travel vlog. I was even nervous when cars drove by. I was like, oh, there's a car driving by, I should hide the camera. And then in hindsight, I was like, what the hell am I hiding the camera for? It's like, I'm just vlogging. That's the thing, when you first start vlogging, if anyone's never tried it before and they're like too anxious or nervous, it really, the anxiety and the nervousness, at least for me, only lasted about 10 minutes. So it's like you're kind of like, oh, I shouldn't put a camera up because people hear me talking to the camera. And then once you do it for like 10 minutes, you just start to ignore everyone else around you. And then it doesn't bother you anymore. So yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking at the beginning. But if you can get over the initial hurdle of just feeling awkward, then all of a sudden it becomes second nature. It might not for everyone, but I know I still got a lot to learn about it. So I shouldn't really say it's second nature. It just gets a little easier. I noticed it too, like when I was on the train, I was nervous to talk to people into the camera, so I just only talked to it when there wasn't a lot of people around. But then once I was in downtown Toronto and all the bus stations and just crowds of people everywhere, I just quit caring. I'm like, who gives a shit? People see me and hear me talking. I'll just do it anyway. And then, yeah, then it starts to flow pretty big, or better. Yeah, so next time I go up on some traveling adventures, I got a whole bunch of new clues to follow up on. So that's what I was thinking, dear God, like, I know I've been down the dumps, stuck in the lockdown situation for like, I guess 4 years now. Lockdown for my health and then lockdown for the pandemic. Now, if anyone knows or wondering what the hell I'm talking about for being under lockdown for 4 years, when I was going through the concussion, I went through about 3 months of just solitary confinement. It's like my head hurt so bad I couldn't even speak to other people. So I usually just sat in my room alone staring at a wall for like 3 months. It was pretty intense. And I was thinking, like, at that point, I was like, that's when I started chain smoking, because it kind of felt like I was in jail. So I was like, shit, man, I got to do something to get me through this. So I started just chain smoking, and not like weed, like actual cigarettes. But it got me through it, so I don't recommend that, but yeah, you do what you got to do, right? Yeah, so anyways, I did that first 3 months of like solitaire, and then after that, I could only take talking to other people like brief moments, maybe like 5 minutes of talking here and there. So that's why I was like, for like another year and a half, I was like, I could barely even be in rooms with other people. So I basically just went isolation for like 2.5 years. And then I had a week off where I was like starting to go back into public and interact, and then the pandemic started. So it was like about a week of normal life and then back into the lockdowns again. So I really haven't been outside or interacted with people since about 2018. Yeah, so quite a while ago now. I think, what was it, August 2018. Yeah, so that'll be, I guess not 4 years, 3 years, right? 18, 19, 20, 21. So it's not that bad. The weird thing I noticed is when you go into isolation for that long and you have friends and family that have small kids and you don't see them for 3 years, it's like amazing how much kids grow in 3 years. It's like some of my friends had like babies. The next thing I come and see them again, they have like kids in kindergarten. So I was like, holy shit, that went fast. That's kind of how I lost all my friends too, because once you isolate from all your friends for like years at a time, it's kind of hard to get back in the routine of hanging out with people again, because you're like, you've just all of a sudden made this new routine where you don't hang out with them. So yeah, it was quite the experience, losing all my friends, my family for 4 years. Pretty much total isolation. That's why I love the Clone Evolution thing. If it wasn't for Clone Evolution streaming, I don't know if I would have made it through those lockdowns. Because for a while there, I was like, man, the isolation was just getting to me. I don't know if anyone's noticed, though even a year of lockdown is pretty intense. Especially if like you're living alone and you really don't see anyone else. So it's just like years and years of solitary confinement. Now I started to realize that's why in jail that they say solitary confinement's the worst. Because yeah, it sucks. Round 50, we lost. No, so hopefully I'll be able to get the production quality up enough that it's watchable. Hopefully people aren't grossed out too much by the runny nose parts. I was worried that my nose ran for the whole video, but I think it only was running for maybe about 20 minutes out of an hour video, so it's not really the whole video. Yeah, I really wish I would have just had a mirror, because I didn't have a mirror with me, so when I was doing the vlogging, I didn't even realize what my face looked like. I didn't notice that I had like a runny nose sticking out. I really wish I would have brought a mirror, but oh well. That's kind of the thing too, like when you're on a trip out into the woods in the middle of nowhere, are you really that worried about what you look like? The only people that are going to be seeing you is bears and moose. Not really people. Oh yeah, if anyone wants to hear one of the paranormal things, actually we just froze the game, so let's get a quick message from the sponsor.
Today's weird stories are brought to you by Crack. Crack, it'll fuck you up. Woo!
Alright, let's go with we did the sponsor patrons. Shit, man, the game's loading really slow today. Alright, anyways, Suki, Dan, Jim, Ray, and Travis. Appreciate everyone that's helped out with Patreon in the past and the present. I got everyone's names, even the past and present, so thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I think we're down to 2 patrons now, but we still have some, so I appreciate it, everyone. Alright, let's do the affiliate links too. It's still not loaded. Society 6, finishing quick is my specialty. It comes on t-shirts, bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. Hado TV pays you to watch videos, swag bucks to shop, GameKit to try games, and free Bitcoin. It's a wallet system for crypto. I also got the BetFury one in there linked. And BetFury and Bitcoin both have casinos, but they also have free loot boxes you can open. The loot boxes contain little tiny amounts of crypto of different types. Free Bitcoin offers Satoshi, and BetFury offers pretty much everything else. So yeah, if you're into crypto and you want a way to start for free, I definitely recommend some wallet systems that give you free crypto. So why not, right? And it's really tiny amounts, but you figure like if you have the option of gambling some of it, you could turn it bigger. You never know. Or you could share the links and get some referrals yourself. I actually quit gambling on those because they're really hard, but my accounts keep going up because I appreciate all the referrals. Right, and if you're going to follow the regional laws for those, make sure you do it for the virtual mate as well. Or not if, when you do it. Yeah, and if you want a $10 coupon code for a purchase of $150 or more, Virtual Mate was nice enough to send it exclusively for the show. So I really appreciate it. The code is LyingBSN. I don't know if they sent it to me on purpose because they've heard my show topics, but it's LYNBSN. No, it's not lying BS. The code actually works. There's an end on the end. All right, let's go back to the game. Oh yeah, my website too. Now, I haven't updated my website in like 4 years, so it's definitely overdue for an update. I'm going to do that soon. I know I have a whole list of stuff that I'm working on for Sober September, so that's definitely on there. All right. Yeah, I got carried away with talking too fast there, man. Starting to lose my voice. So one thing that I hate, well, I shouldn't say I hate it, but once I stop vaporizing weed, it makes me talk so much faster and clearer. Or at least it makes it easier to do. I know normally when I talk, I usually mumble really bad. I know viewers can relate to hearing that. So I try not to mumble, and when I don't vaporize weed, it makes not mumbling much easier. Thank God. No, I was thinking about that. I completely forgot. I think it was when I hit puberty in like grade 5 or something, and my voice changed. Ever since that happened, I started to mumble way worse. And it got so bad in elementary school. Guess what all the kids would call me in school? They had a whole name made for me because I mumbled so much. They called me, was it glonker? They're like, glonk, 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 glonk. I was like, they were trying to make like a sound that sounded like my mumbling. And it was kind of an insult that really didn't bother me too much because I know I mumbled too much, and what are you going to do about it? But I try to speak clear. It's not always easy. No, it's funny because when I got to high school, I ran into one of my friends from my old elementary school, and he goes, "Must be so nice to be in a new school where everyone's not calling you glonker anymore." I was like, well, I guess. It didn't really bother me that much, but yeah. At least it wasn't a worst insult, like stinky or something. That would apply more to today. No, every time I quit smoking weed, my BO gets much worse. I think it's something to do with your liver processing toxins or something, but yeah, it's not fun for that because, man, having really strong BO, that's something you should at least make fun of. How am I doing with the genie? That's a good question from Augusto. Let's check it out. We got so close. If we would have got the Hunger Games reward, I think we would have been around... Oh, wait. No, it would have been an extra 200. So anyways, we would have been really close. What we need is one more box of these so that we can get a Rising Moon Warrior. And if we get that, I think that's all we need for Genie. So really, we're just one Hunger Games away. I was hoping today was going to be Genie, but we lost on the Hunger Games, so we didn't get the tokens, and we lost some. So that's the little setback we faced, but it's not the end of the world. I'm pretty sure we'll turn it around. Alright, so what can we do for bonus? Let's go for a couple more casino spins. Oh, we only got enough for one more, so we'll have to buy some more casino spin tokens. Alright, some people got some good fortune, so let's try our fortune again. Ah, son of a whore. Not that there's anything wrong with that. God, I can't believe we didn't get jack shit. We burned through 40 Royal Casino tokens. Not a single hero. You sons of bitches. Who knows? Maybe they'll give us a Trump and we won't have to bitch, because then we can use them to make a new red hero soon. Alright, so let's see what we're at. See, I was thinking, would I have to buy any friend tokens or casino tokens with the friend flowers? And looks like we will. So let's buy a few. Can any of the viewers calculate how many tokens do I need to buy in order to finish this? Let's see, is anyone good at math? What is it? 10 points per draw. 8 tokens per draw for the 10 points. So if I needed, let's say... 10 times 10 would be 100. So that would mean we need... Oh, but then there's an 8 in there. So 8 times 10. So what would that be? 80 tokens we need. I think we need 80. Or 80 minus the 2. So that'd be like, what, 78 we need? So let's try and see if 78 does it. I think my math is way off, but we'll try it. If we buy a little bit too much, not the end of the world. No, if anyone's wondering if I hate Freemasons at all, no. It's like I try not to love or hate anything completely. Same thing people always ask me, am I against these? It's like, no, I like some of them and others I don't. It's not like I'm going to say I hate all Tylenol or something, or I hate all mushrooms, or I hate all meat. Some meat I like, some I don't. Some plants I like, some I don't. What's going on here? Why is there a red dot for applications, yet there's no applications? That's freaking me out. Oh, I see what's happening. The game's freezing? No. These red dots are appearing for no reason. Oh, they vanished now. Must be some sort of glitch. Alright, anyways, let's go and do some more casino spins. Now, if anyone hasn't seen the pictures of how bad my concussion was, my head swelled up so big that I went blind for a few days. And when you're asking, like, how did I go blind? It was the parts around my head swelled up so much that it crushed the or the blood vessels in my eyes. So then I wasn't getting blood flow to my eyes, and everything was super blurry. You know, it's like if you like sprinkled pepper or so, like chili peppers or something in your eyes, and they just all of a sudden go all blurry and you can't see anything. That's what it was like for 2 days. And actually didn't go away until I went to the hospital again, and then they were able to like give me some medication and bring the swelling down. I really should have took those medication right away, but I didn't think the swelling was going to get that bad. I was just using ice at first. Really, in hindsight, I should have went to the pain or the pills right away to bring down the swelling, but in hindsight, right, I didn't know much about concussions at the time. I actually almost went back to work, and I was lucky. I'm pretty sure if I would have went back to work, I would have died. So it's very lucky my boss said, hey, you had a bad accident. Just take the rest of the day off. All right, so we got a chip. Yeah, because part of the problem with the whole concussion is when I started to do the exercises, my blood circulation was not going good. So it was getting to the point where I would start to get really bad chest pains. All right, so yeah, that was the right amount. And that was one of the doctor's advice, too. They're like, oh, you're getting chest pains so bad that you collapse to the ground? Just plow through it. You'll be okay. I was like, are you really telling me to plow through chest pains? It's like, you damn sons of bitches. Those fucking unions are cutthroat, man. If you're part of the union, they'll look after you. If you're not part of the union, they'll slit your throat and steal all your money. Fuckers. Come on, positive. That's why I think unions are super dangerous to get involved with government jobs, because then you start getting all these government employees that are like trying to rip everyone off. Fucking sucks. But I shouldn't be talking about that. It's Labor Day and stuff. Like, unions are good in some situations when they want to create slaves overseas. No, I shouldn't joke about that either. But some people are like, oh, kids in sweatshops have it so hard. I'm like, really? Look at the kids in North America. They're fucking so fat and obese that they're dying of diabetes. Compare that to the kid in the sweatshop. Kid in the sweatshop's in fucking mint condition health. He's fucking like not obese at all, and he's like super fit. I get it that he's losing his years to sit around on his ass and play video games, but dear God, if you're trying to like say that people in sweatshops have it so bad, it's like, well, compare it to what? To dying of diabetes when you're like 10 years old? God. No, it's a Joe Rogan perspective. Any hardships will definitely make you stronger as long as they don't kill you, so. Oh yeah, we got another gun, 140. Oh, I'm not supposed to mention that on YouTube. I always forget that. YouTube, I don't know if it's different for video games when you stream it, but they gave us a list of words we're not allowed to talk about, and weapons are on that. So it's like I'm not even really supposed to mention weapons or show them or whatever. But I'm like, what happens if you're playing a video game and you're trying to stream, right? Can't even mention guns? That's weird. I better be careful. I'm saying it too many times. I get it. They want to keep people safe and all, but that just seems ridiculous. That's why I felt bad when I was getting that caller coming on the show. His channel, like all the movies we're making, these really cool action movies that have weapons in them. And I was like, dear God, man, you're going to have to be careful adding those to YouTube because you'll get your channel taken down right away. They've got entire paragraphs about how you're not allowed to do that shit. It's fucking brutal. Alright, so now he's got 2 140 pieces. Let's go boost those up. Oh yeah, I was watching another YouTuber I haven't seen in a while, and he was back and he was doing a live stream, and he answered all my questions online. What a nice guy. It's Bobby's Perspective. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He is a little bit strange with his perspectives, but you figure if you have a show about perspectives, it's going to have to be a little strange or no one would watch it. If it's the same as everyone's perspective, why the hell would you care? No, so he's back, and he only does occasional shows now because he said he's worried about YouTube shutting his channel down. I don't blame him because everything's crazy with YouTube right now. I was telling him about the whole Google Pay situation and how it affects Canadian YouTubers, and he's like, holy shit, he had no idea. So I was kind of glad. Maybe I shared some information. He'll help get out to the public too. Google's very heavily invested with the whole operations with this. The government, Google, Moderna. It's like so many of these weird companies are all teaming up together. It almost kind of reminds me of like in the World War II when you had all the different countries like teaming up, and it seems that way with companies now. It's like the general public versus all these different companies that are teaming up to try to take our human rights away, steal all our money, take all our freedoms. It's really quite wild. I try to laugh because I don't want to get too stressed out about it. All right, so do we really polish off everything we can do? I guess we're almost at the 2-hour mark, so I should really wrap her up soon. No, I appreciate everyone for tuning in today. Oh yeah, let's go and equip a little bit more equipment because we got quite a bit there. Does anyone need equipment? There we go. He's a little better. There we go. He's a little better. I want to try to get all my red heroes at least a set of 140 gear. Excuse me. Oh, this hero, she needs some work. She needs that boosted, so we'll do that. There we go. Now he's got better. Not bad. Holy shit, he's got a whole set of 130? What the hell does he have it for? Man, this guy's got some 120 shit. Let's... Oh, that's why. Yeah, it's not the right piece. Alright, so he can keep his stuff. That's fine. Oh, wait. Let's see if anyone else... Oh, yeah, Jane Austen. She could use it more than he could. Well, he is part of our team, so we shouldn't get rid of it all, but... Just check and make sure my whole Darwin team actually has chips equipped. I don't want to forget to equip someone's chips. Hey, maybe I forgot to equip that guy's chips. I should check. No, he's got them. Good. Holy, Steadfast. He said he was looking into it, and he says he has info from the archaeological team sent from Thunder Bay. No shit. All right, well, if you want to get a hold of me, just make sure that you send messages. The Discord's pretty good for it. I think we're safe to send messages there. Or you could try to private chat me. I don't know where. YouTube, I've been trying to... Or Facebook, I'm trying to phase out from all the private chat stuff because Facebook is so, like, I don't know, strict these days. Where else could we do it? Skype, I guess. Yeah, if you want to do a Skype call sometime. Or, what's another way? Discord, Skype. Yeah, I guess if you wanted... I was going to say another spot on Facebook, but no. No, and if anyone's wondering why the Ancient Mystery stuff is important to right now, I guess I should show everyone. Just a little quick break from the game stuff. Sorry, we'll get back to the game in one sec. I'll give a shout out to all the viewers. We're going to be wrapping up. So yeah, let's do it. We'll wrap up the show while I load this. And we'll do one more battle with these while we give everyone a shout out. The chief archaeologist was angry that the expense spent the team to the wrong site. They were misdirected. See, that's the thing, that the spot by the Stonehenge and the offering table and the mountain, there's so much around that area where it isn't really just one site, right? There's like a combination. I think even in the archaeology, here, let's look at it. Where is it? It's resources. I think I put it in there. Fuck, man. Why is it not on the top? What the hell? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so we'll just give everyone a shout out. I'll give a shout out to the professor that helped me out the most with these mysteries. It's a Backroads Bill Steer. He's actually a real professor at different universities. Or no, I think it's just one, Nipissing University. I could be wrong about that. What does it say here? Professor, oh yeah, it's at Candor College and Nipissing. So yeah, I just got to read it. Holy shit, he updated it in July. I haven't read the updates yet, so this is actually a live update. So he goes on and talks about natives, shamans, all the different people that are using it. This is the beach that you'll be seeing in the video. I was actually at this location. That's the video I'm editing right now, is being there. And this was the thing. This Vernon Dufresne's guy, when he was one of the first people to research it, people were making fun of him too, saying there was nothing to the site and it wasn't special. But then he started to align it to different equinoxes and stuff. So I think they tried to say it was a medicine wheel, but from what I found in the rocks, I came up with a different pattern than the medicine wheel, but like the viewer was saying, there could be more. Holy shit. Okay, this was the new part. I was thinking he wasn't going to add that in there, because if anyone's heard about the North Star before, you're not allowed to talk about that usually. And why you're not allowed to talk about it, it's part of the forbidden history that the Germans and the Nazis used to talk about. You know, that symbol? It's like that symbol is actually part of this, the North Star stuff. So I think that's where you get really sketchy if you want to tell people about what you're researching. You really can't tell them if it's about this. So I'm surprised he put that in there now. That's really weird too, because I don't know if that was in there before. Fuck, I'll have to... Maybe I can use the Wayback Machine and compare the two articles and see which has been changed and which hasn't. That'd be interesting. Yeah, so good for Bill, man. Like, he's one of my favorite teachers. God, I wish I had teachers like him in school. But I never actually made it to college or university. They never let me in because I applied, and I was a really big hippie back then, even smoking more weed than I should have at that age. So I can understand why they didn't let me into the school, but man, it would have been neat if I did. If I had teachers like Bill, that would have been something. But hey, what's done is done. Can't be bitching. So anyways, what the native people said was that these stones were actually legit. This was actually a real sacred site, that this Dufresne's guy didn't make it up. And they said that it was like a power spot. You'll see how the power affects me, because I'm one of those people that's very sensitive to energies and dream stuff. So when I got there and I stood on it, you can see in the video what happens to me. It hits me pretty hard. So here they're talking about like the Pearl Beach and different sites. So maybe that's what happened. Yeah, like the viewer was saying, they sent them to multiple sites, or maybe they only got sent to one site. That's what maybe happened. That could be. And then yeah, they missed some of the better sites. Yeah, so actually what I did is I walked all the way from in the video from basically the Holy Mountain. I walked all the way down Highway 66, took the road there, filmed the Stonehenge stuff, then walked all the way back, climbed the mountain, did the drone footage, and then you wouldn't believe it, I made it back to town with minutes to spare, just in time to buy a beer at the pub. And then I took the beers and went back to the hotel and watched UFC. So it was like a whole day of just walking and fasting. And when I got back and chugged that beer, boy, did it hit me. Oh, he's even got files with KMZ, and oh, wow, I can add it to Google now. All right. That's awesome. Man, this guy looks exactly like my old boss, but I don't think it's him. Isn't it weird? Sometimes you see people that are like identical clones to other people you know, but you know it's not them. Because the guy I know, I don't think he was up north ever, so I doubt it was him. All right. God, so yeah, I got the video coming out, and I'm not sure if it's going to come out this week or whenever. We'll see. It depends how much polish I'm really going to put into it. All right, let's get this battle going. Oh, man. This Steadfast guy, man. I was trying to figure out, like, how the hell did you get all this information? Are you living up north too, huh? That's pretty well. Oh, it might be some of the other people I've already talked to. That could it be. You just have a different account name for YouTube. That's probably what it is. I'm trying to remember everyone's name I talked to up north. All right, so no, I've got a few friends that work in the mines up there. I actually met some really nice women in the area too. So yeah, there's a lot of nice people. Oh, you're looking forward to the video. That's cool. Thanks, appreciate that. All right, let's there's one other thing that I wanted to talk about it, and I'm trying to remember, where was it? Oh shit. Oh shit. Sorry. I started playing a video there. Yeah, I don't remember what I was else going to... Oh, here it is. Thank God. I was just about to say I can't remember what I was going to talk about, and then found the link. So if anyone's wondering about this ancient mystery stuff and how it connects to actually today's events, because I know a lot of people think ancient mysteries, what the hell does it even have to do with what we're doing today? But this is where it really gets fucked up. I don't want anyone to freak out, because it kind of freaks me out sometimes, but let's share it anyway. I'm terrible. Alright, so you can see here, the thing that we're not allowed to talk about, they're saying that they're going to have to start using more Greek alphabet names, because eventually there'll be so many variants that they'll run out of letters or whatever. I shouldn't laugh, it's terrible. I'm laughing to relieve stress. Now, I've had ulcer issues in the past, so I have to try to relieve stress whatever ways I can. So anyways, they said they're gonna start using like constellations or whatever. Remember how we were talking about how the Stonehenge is aligning to different constellations and stuff? I don't know if I mentioned it today's episode, maybe another one. I'm trying to think. So anyways, they showed a picture, and it's not the North Star, but it's one very similar. And if people are wondering what this constellation is, it's odd that they use this as the image. Like they're showing that they're going to start naming the virus after constellations. Because does anyone know what this constellation's the symbol for? This one is the symbol that actually we get our alphabet from. Even George Washington might know it, or other native cultures. They called this guy the Winter Maker instead of, what do they call him in Greek culture? Whatever they call this guy. The man with the big club and the thing. Except the First Nations people obviously drew the man differently. They don't make him look like a European. But anyways, it's the same deal, that this guy in the sky, he spins around, and it turns out what his whole like philosophy goes back to is it might not even be the first. That's probably a little bit further down the chain. But anyways, what it goes back to is, what is that one cult called? You know the Romans, like the ancient Roman legions, they used to have different cults. Oh yeah, that's what it is, the Mithra cult. So the Mithra cult was they had to do sacrifices of an ox and collect the blood and put it in an offering table, and that's how the Mithra religion worked. And the whole reason they're doing these sacrifices and ox stuff is because you can see these stars here. They make Taurus, the bull. So what it was, this was the legend of the alphabet and the entire history of the universe. So there was like the Pleiadian star systems, the seven sisters. It's apparently where all life originated. And then you go across all the stars, and that's like the journey of how our life or our whole universe is going to play out. And at the other end is Anubis or Canis Minor or Major. I always get minor and major mixed up. But anyways, it's basically Anubis. So you have like the Taurus, the bull, going all the way to Anubis. And it used to be called the Alpha to Omega legend. So Alpha to Omega basically stands for the beginning to the end. And that's also our alphabet. So it's interesting that they're saying they need more letters in alphabet, and they literally show the symbol that's the constellation that gives us our letters in our alphabet. So the other thing that's weird about this is the whole sacrifice thing. And if anyone knows what this year is in the Chinese calendar, this is the year of sacrifice. Why? Because it's the year of the metal ox. And the metal ox is the same symbol as this. How alchemists used to have to sacrifice the ox in order to do the ritual to obtain immortality or change into a light being. So that's what I was reading about in Freemasonry today. Some of the Freemasonry branches, what they're trying to do is accomplish everlasting life. Which the weirdest thing, the whole religion thing of the Magi that was really into this, they taught Jesus to try to tell people to never do these rituals again. So this is the ritual that Jesus was supposed to stop us from doing. Why? Because it can change people into immortals, and the mortals hate it when mortals come to try to live with them. They don't want to live with other mortals. They just like to live with the gods. So they don't want us to do the ritual. So that's kind of weird, right? So here we have that this is happening, and then they show us that the symbol that they put in the article is the symbol for sacrifice, and it's during the year of sacrifice. So I was like, that's a lot of weird coincidences. And I know a lot of people get conspiratorial and say this whole thing that we're doing is a sacrifice. Let's hope not. So yeah, that's a lot of weird stuff, all in just some article that came out today. So I don't know if maybe some Freemasons are helping to write these articles and they added a little bit of extra mystery to the story without anyone even noticing. I sure noticed. But if you told me this like 3 years ago, I would have no idea. Because a lot of this, I'm just still learning myself. Alright, so let's do the battle. And I'm going to have to go quick because, man, my stomach is killing. And I got to go use the washroom. Luckily, I only had one beer. Oh. Ugh. No, if anyone's wondering, I still got the colonoscopy appointment coming up to make sure it's nothing too serious. And I'll maybe let everyone know how it's going to go. I might just keep it private. I don't know. It'll probably depend on how bad it is. But I'm not going to promise to tell everyone and then just not say. So we'll see. No, I appreciate everyone who's given me the prayers and stuff. But hopefully it's nothing that serious. The only thing is, it has been going on for a long time, and I should have got it checked out a lot sooner. But I would have if it wasn't for like the whole lockdown situation. I booked this test, I think 6 months ago, so the hospitals are definitely like way behind in the cancer tests. Like, dear God, can you imagine you went and told your doctor that you're shitting blood and you need to get tested for cancer? And he's like, okay, see you again in 6 months. It's like, what? I have to wait 6 months to get tested for cancer? That's pretty fucked. Anyways, I better close this in case there's any ads playing. You know, that's weird. Someone was telling me about that crystal skull at the Pearl Beach, and I didn't believe it, unless that's actually the viewer that's talking. It's like, there was this one person I was talking to up north, but she canceled her social media account, so I was wondering if she was going to tune in and watch. Yeah, because I heard about that crystal skull and I was like, yeah, right. Is that really for sure? It's like, it almost sounds too ridiculous. But I'm not really going to bash the crystal skull stuff because I have a connection to it strangely, oddly enough as well. Alright, so Steadfast, thanks again for signing in. All to Stinger11, Augusto, Pasco Basilio, Bob. Hey, I didn't even see Bob. Oh, he was the one asking me to whistle. Yeah, I really should have came up with some sort of song that I could whistle beforehand. I don't know. I just don't have any songs in my head right now, so it makes it harder to do. All right, so thanks again, Bob. I'll try to get a song ready for the next episode. People actually want to hear me whistle, which is so strange. Normally when I tell people I can whistle, they're like, just shut up, man. We don't want to hear whistling. All right, so thanks, everyone, for the chat. Really appreciate it. No, once you've been in social isolation for 3 years. I've been exaggerating. It's not really 4, it's 3. But yeah, once you've been in that long, it's like even the slightest conversations with other people, even online, it's like, oh, it feels like such an emotional release. You're like, oh, communicating with other humans again. Woohoo! No, it was funny because before this accident and all this, I was kind of getting sick of hanging out with people too much all the time. where I was like not going out to bars, not going out to visit friends, and God, did I ever learn that mistake the hard way. Let's hope I learned. God. That's why I say live and learn. Lots of living, not so much learning. Alright, so let's consume some heroes. Oh yeah, we weren't going to consume heroes. I keep forgetting. I got to work tomorrow, so I can't stay up super late. So we'll have to wrap this up. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for joining in and giving me the information about the place up north. I'll try to get the video finished soon. Well, I shouldn't say try to get it finished soon. I could release it tomorrow, but I think if I do, it'll just be a little bit too rough still. And the one thing I was debating too is, would people rather watch a whole episode, like one long video, or should I split it in half? Because I think it's working out to about an hour. So I'm like, maybe an hour is too long for a video, or maybe I should make it 2 half-hour videos. So I haven't really decided that part yet, so we'll see. Maybe I'll release it in portions, or maybe it'll be one long video. We'll have to see. There's nothing really that amazing if everyone's already been up there before. Like, I'm sure if you've already been there, you're not going to see anything, well, other than the drone footage. I guess the drone footage maybe people wouldn't have seen before. So I'll try to add some of that into the video too. And yeah, for tomorrow's episode for Clone Evolution, I don't think we're going to have the genie yet. I wish we would, but we're going to have to do the battles for, what is it, the Hunger Games. And I don't know how long it's going to be till the next Hunger Games. It's probably going to be next week sometime. So hopefully we'll get lucky in more than one way. No, I'm just kidding, in the game. And we'll be able to make a genie. That'd be sweet. So yeah, if anyone's wondering how these ancient mysteries connect to what the world events are today, just make sure if you got already bad health conditions, you probably should be going with this instead of taking chances, right? Not for me to offer medical advice. I feel stupid saying it because, like, I have no idea what to do. I'm just trying to repeat what they told me to say on YouTube. Like, you have to agree with the CDC. So yeah, it's like I agree with the CDC. Whatever they say, make sure you do it. I wouldn't be able to say otherwise even if I believed it. All right, so we did get some Vibram tokens. Let's see what we're at. Holy shit, 19 Vibram tokens. I don't know. We got to try to get enough Vibram tokens to buy this guy, but I don't think we're going to do it in time before this runs out. But maybe with the viewers' help, keep your fingers crossed, maybe we can pull it off. Some days I feel with other people's help, I can accomplish anything. It's when I try doing too much stuff on my own that I run into serious problems. Especially these days. Oh, pardon the pun. That's a little gross. Alright, so yeah, let's go to the fire screen. Oh, wait, and I wanted to check one other thing. Let's see what the message Suki left us, or if it was Suki that wrote it. I'm even forgetting now. So we're doing the scroll burning? No, we're doing the casino. So the next one will be Tavern Task and Arena. So this Thursday, we should have some pretty good action coming up. You know, that was kind of the weird thing. Remember I was talking about we're getting some guests on the show that are doing readings on Friday? I don't know if they were just like going through my profile and like reading a lot about the ancient mystery stuff, but they were talking a lot about it. And if anyone's heard about Santeria before, they have that same ritual with the sacrifice. So it's going to be a weird show topic. Hopefully it doesn't get too gross. Hopefully it's not like one of those things that's going to get my channel banned, but we'll try to keep it as clean as we can. I know last time they wanted to come on the show, we did, and we just skipped the whole sacrifice topic. Because even beforehand, we're like, you know, sacrifice topic might be a little much for YouTube. But yeah, so, like, I'm not even into sacrifice. I can't even stand fishing most times. I feel terrible killing things. My grandpa was actually the same way. He was such a sissy when it came to fishing. He would fish, and he would catch fish, and they'd still be alive, and he couldn't kill them. It was like he'd have to ask my grandma to do it. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm definitely not into sacrifices, if anyone's wondering that. I usually go with the fasting type sacrifices, because I figure it's also a type of sacrifice, and you don't have to hurt anyone else to do it, so you're just damaging your own body. Yeah, speaking of, the weight loss stuff is going pretty good. I'm almost back down to under 200 pounds. I'm thinking if I can keep this trend going, I actually will reach my weight loss goals this time. I don't have to, hopefully I'm not jinxing it, but dear God, I'm on such a good roll. Hopefully everyone can keep their fingers crossed for me and I'll get my weight back under control. It won't keep fluctuating like a roller coaster. I got to stop losing like 20, 40 pounds like every few months. It's not good for you. It's like put on 30 pounds, lose 40, gain 20, lose 30. It's like a fucking roller coaster. But that's what life is, right? It's a bunch of series of success and failures. Don't beat yourself up if you try to do something and fail the first time. I'm sure even the greatest inventors in the world probably failed over and over and over again before they had any success. Right? Oh, the Sundance. Sundance is sacrifice. You'll have to look more into that. You know what else is a weird symbol to, or a thing connected to this? Was Samsung. I found out that the name Samsung actually connects to that as well. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about it with the guest on Friday. And I'll try to keep the viewers up to date about when the show's going to be. Let me just put the Discord link in case anyone needs to get a hold of me. Because once you join our Discord server, yeah, you can send me private messages too. So if you want to join something that's not as official as Facebook or whatever, or sending emails, because God, I miss a lot of my emails too. I'm terrible for checking emails. Sometimes I'll go like 3 months and then I forget to check it, and I'll go back. I'll like, oh fuck, I forgot to check it for 3 months. But yeah, let's give the server invite. Let's see. Fuck man, where is it? Server boost. I'm trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Invite people. Alright, so I'll paste it in the chat. And if anyone wants to join the Discord, yeah, just join the Discord, and from there you can private message me, or just even put the messages on the Discord page. I kind of like the way Jesus talks about how he does stuff, and he tries to do everything in the open so that no one would ever accuse him of conspiring and stuff. So I'm one of those people that tries to keep everything as much as I can in the open, unless I'm getting information from people that are in compromised situations with their jobs or something and they can't release it. But yeah, so, oh yeah, I forgot to hit enter. Fuck. There we go. So there's the Discord page if anyone wants to join it. It's good for video game stuff. It's good for ancient mystery stuff. I'll probably create a sub page on the same Discord so that we have one specifically for the ancient mysteries. So just, we don't have to mix everything, even though I don't mind mixing it. I'm pretty open when it comes to a lot of things, so. I know that's why people make fun of me, that I was so anti-liberal party for so long. But now that we're facing to get the conservatives back, I'm like, oh shit. It's like I'm almost thinking of voting for Justin now, because when I see the conservatives almost back in power, I'm like, oh God, this is going to be even worse. No, I got to stop freaking out about politics and just focus on getting my health back together. There's no sense worrying myself to death. Yeah, try to, in general, people, if you get carried away and worry, that's actually one of the reading things that the guy was telling me from Santeria. He said that the spirits were telling him that I'm not relaxing enough and laughing enough. They're saying that if you laugh more, it could help improve your health. So I'm like, yeah, I even noticed that. Watching comedy, I tend to feel a lot better. So I'm going to try to watch more comedy these days and less like horror movies and stuff. Not that I watch horror movies, but I mean like checking Facebook. That's the horror movie. Alright, let's go to the fire screen. Right, if you happen to get any ancient mystery stuff in your vaporizer and you hate them, tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can give the show a like. Really appreciate it. Just make sure, never buy the products from my sponsor.
Because it will ruin your life. Bye for now, everyone. See you later.
No, hopefully the X-Files people don't find me. No, it's a horrible song to whistle. I'll try to get one that sounds better. Alright, take care everyone. Bye for now. See you later.